Hey everybody, it's Bus, continuing our playthrough of the Path of Champions. Today, we're taking on the 3.5-star quest, the Colossus, going up to battle against Galio. We'll be using our 2-star Teemo. Excuse me, so to get you familiar with our strategy, the big thing we use with Teemo is building around the armed and ready power. So when allies attack, we put 5 poison puff caps into the opposing deck. With that, we tie it into our relics, giving Teemo Scout. So Teemo makes a Scout attack. The 5 puff caps go in. Teemo gets a Nexus Strike that gets him up to 10 puff caps. We get the regular attack after that. The star power takes our opponent up to 15. That flips our Teemo, and he starts getting the flipped hits in on the first attack. Then we look to take advantage of the Recall Me ability. So at round end, Teemo is going to recall. So if we get to play Teemo every turn of the game, we can get +2 bonus mana with the Lost Chapter. And so we're looking to play Teemo literally every single turn of the game. So, to help tie into that strategy, we have a special way that we like to play with the powers. We jump into the adventure. We say, cool, what does Riot have for us today? What are the powers going to be? Is it something good? Is it something bad? Who knows? Doesn't matter. We're going to jump in and then just retire. You can look for a legendary if you want, but, I prefer to just come in and retire. GG, well fought, good battle. And then we pick up the draw 2 cards at the beginning of the game power. Boop, boop, boop. Here we go. What do we get? What powers turn up? Game start, draw 2. Thank you. All right, on to the Dauntless Vanguard. So at the round end, if one of the foe's units died this round, the foe summons Dauntless Vanguard. All right, so we got a Teemo in our opener. Good job, go us. Now, I'm going to hang on to the Puff Cap Pup, but get rid of 2 more units. I want to see if we can't find a Sump Fumes or if we can't find a, whatchamacallit, a Stress Defense. So, Teemo comes in. We have the extra copy in hand, so I'm going to go ahead and send off the Mushroom Clouds. It helps take the opponent down much, much quicker. So Teemo flips on the first hit. Good job. Now we'll get a little bit more doubling up because we played that Mushroom Cloud. Opponent, to the best of my knowledge, doesn't have a way to interact with Teemo, so it's safe enough here. All right, Teemo back to hand. Dudes playing dudes. I see you. I feel you. Anything cool here? Nothing that's going to directly interact with the combat this turn. We'll just pick up the Flame Spitter so we can try and win on the next one. Not worried about him getting the extra Vanguards. Just want to take as little damage as possible. So, Teemo win. Get 3 bonus spell mana. Comes back. Now, what can we do this turn? Probably not going to have a way to spend that extra mana we picked up, but not a big deal. There's at least one way, right? Got the Poison Dart. All right, so do we want to go all in and attack with the Puff Cap Pup this round? I'm not the hugest fan of it. I mean, our Teemo... Oh god, he's playing cards. I didn't realize single combat was a piece of the equation here. We're learning. We're learning good. So at least we would have been able to protect Teemo whichever way this was going to go. But good to know he is at risk out here. But you can get the extra puff caps in if you attack with the pup. Opponent's going to be at 200 puff caps. I think that'll be plenty. Barely enough. All right. GG. And so, our thoughts on this. Typically, we expect our games to go like that. We draw Teemo as quick as we can. We get the puff caps in as quickly as we can. And then we don't really look to do a lot of interacting with our opponents because all of our cards are garbage. Now, the problem that we run into in this particular adventure is Zoe. Zoe is the the middle boss in this, and she has a bunch of elusives in her deck. Zoe's elusive, it plays a bunch of sneaky Zeebles, has access to cards like from the elusives, or the elusives from the cheap Celestials, and so while typically we can just smash Teemo in over and over again and not care, here we need to try and find a way to try and navigate around all of those elusives, and so it can be a little challenging to do. And I want to just kind of keep that in mind as we go through here and pick cards. And so I am okay with the Darken Aegis. This should let us potentially like start getting 6 and 8 damage hits in with Teemo. If we like hook Teemo up with the Aegis and then play a Poison Dart, he should be getting like 6 damage attacks in. And if we have another spell, he'd get up to 8 after the Scout attack. And so I think it might have a place here. And we'll try to save the rerolls for a little bit later. So, looking at these, what's the deal with this Seraphine? It's got Acorn that just plays for free. Kind of interested. Inspired Plans, another way to take advantage of Teemo. And then, of course, Seraphine, expensive mode Seraphine. I'm kind of interested in this. Over here with the Donger, Heimerdinger, he's got the Thermogenic Beam, which is a way to kill Zoe. Zoe does grow quite a bit in these matches, and so that's an interesting one as well. And then down here with Varus, what's he have? The Spell Shield item? I'm not nearly as interested in Varus. He just doesn't quite play to the theme that we're trying to pull off, outside of Momentous Choice working really well with that equipment we picked up. And so this is pretty close. Like we shouldn't be getting like too much value out of Acorn, right? Because the opposing we don't have that many spells in our deck. The Inspired Plans is pretty tempting. I just have big visions of then generating the spells that we need to work with our Teemo. But here, I'm just going to go with a Thermogenic Beam. It feels a little bit safer as a means of taking down a Zoe. So up here, we either have a gold chest or an item chest, and this is tough. Like, I don't really want to fight Sneaky Zeebles. This is another set of units that has keywords, and then so when the foe summons a unit, you grant its keywords to the previous unit, so you give your previous units elusive, and that messes with our Teemos. But the item chests are kind of tempting. Now, I have spoken in a few previous videos, I do somewhat like the idea of gold chests, right? If the most important thing that we can be doing is drawing Teemo, then we don't really want to just be adding a bunch of duds to our deck, right? We don't want to come in and add these random cards that don't really do anything, since it's not that super relevant, and it makes it more challenging to draw Teemo. And so I think I'm going to keep that in mind just a little bit here as we go up and battle Tiana, so we don't have to take on that challenging Zeebles battle, and we don't have to add cards to our deck. So here, when the foe attacks, they reduce the cost of their Tianas everywhere by 1. So mad. Tiana always so mad. Maybe she just got RBF. A little bit of resting bitch face. She's not mad at all. All right, reasonable enough start though. We got our Teemo. Tiana dropping a lot of lines of dialogue saying, "Nah, man, I ain't that mad." Not that mad. Life's not that hard. All right, well, we can beam one of these things down. We're just going to end up playing Teemo again next turn, so I don't think it's that big of a deal. We'll pick up the Aegis. Nah, blocking, though. All right, attack number 1. Tiana costs 7 now. It's like, I'm curious if we could ever generate a lethal, right? If we play the Darken Aegis and then start to use the Flash of Brilliance to count as an additional spell. Oh shit, this has doubling dice on it? I didn't even notice. 50% chance to create a copy of me. So we can technically deal infinite damage this turn, right? If we put the Aegis onto Teemo, and then we just win that coin flip a ton of times. So you're saying there's a chance. There is. All right, I'm not quite going to go for it. Let's just go in with the Conchologist for the moment. Thermogenic Beam sounds reasonable. Teemo in. And then I was thinking in my head, it's like we can just beam the Cythria. Do we actually want to take down the Green Fang Warden? Let's see. If he attacks twice with... Did I just attack with the wrong one? Well, I guess that's our way to take down the Green Fang Warden now. Planned it that way. Jeez. That was sloppy. Alright, well, we should still be okay, but that was sloppy. The big thing here is if he gets to start dropping Tiana this turn, then we did just pick up a stress defense, and so it gives us a little bit of a way to stop that damage. He's tapped out of mana now, though, so you don't have to worry about it. Sloppy. Oh, he doesn't make a scout attack, though. This game would be completely locked up if we didn't forget. We didn't get our Teemo attack in last round. Alright, so I'll take the mana. We do all of this. We can add a Peddler. Can't both Flash of Brilliance and play the Aegis if we want to get the Peddler on the board. Well, we can, but we can't get the bonuses from the Aegis. Didn't double up. Kind of sad. Alright, well I did my best to try and hit the lethal this round. We're really gonna suffer if we don't get him on this next draw. He's able to triple attack next turn. We're only gonna have one blocker down. Got him up to 114 puff caps. It's only gonna be good for like 10 damage. Got him for 8. Alright. Let's make a sad noise. Alright, well, he shouldn't be able to play Tiana this round. That's kind of our saving grace for the turn. We can just block with Teemo here. I think we have enough puff caps at this point across 3 draws from the opponent. But definitely sloppy. So, I mean, I guess there is a realistic chance that he just plays Tiana next turn. If he plays Tiana next turn, we're gonna be hurting. Right, I'm really counting on this Ava Achiever to get the job done. Alright, we're safe. Whew, okay. So, not our best effort, but enough to get through the round. Alright, so what do we got here? This mini-morph on the cheap sounds pretty interesting. Aftershock is kind of interesting as well, but I think the mini-morphing Zoe is probably the more important one. And this should be cheap fairly often, right? If we can actually get a plunder in from the puff caps and only play it for 3. I think I'm on board. Alright, take the treasure. 100 gold. It's so small. Come in and cut a card. I like to hang on to the Chump Wump here now that he has the +1/+1 item. We're just going to take out the Lecturing Yordle. I mean, maybe we do take out the Ava Achiever. I kind of like having that high roll aspect to it, though, to where it's like, oh, we just got to win the game now. Let's put this thing down and hope we can do it. Okay, on to Zoe. So at the round end, she creates a random 3 or less cost Celestial card in her hand, and then has Fleeting and 1 less cost. Let's see what we can do. We look at this opener, we say, hey, where's Teemo at? Not a part of it. Mulligan everything. Uh-oh. That's not good. Oh, this is bad if we miss. Especially, like, we're on the odd attacks, and so we can't attack until the 3rd turn now. Assuming we draw Teemo by that point. This is why Teemo's so weak, why you have to draw him, right? Just have Ava Achievers and Chump Wumps and a bunch of dudes that don't do anything. So, let's see if we can do it. Squeeze your cheeks, boys. Squeeze your cheeks. Alright, step 1. You're just gonna play another one. Okay. Okay. You can't just, like, not go for it, right? He has the Moonglow in hand to give her Spell Shield, and so we have to try and take her down. But now this is, again, like, the big problem that we have in general in the Teemo deck, to where everything is just super expensive and you can't play your cards if you don't draw Teemo. But also, if we want to attack next turn, he's got this 4/6 elusive on the board that we just can't do anything about. So, okay. Okay. Gonna add in a Puffcat Peddler. I don't suspect we're gonna be able to kill Zoe, but he didn't play a spell. So again, we got a shot. We got a chance. Finally, Teemo. He's got 1 mana, so he's gonna play another one, isn't he? That's my life now. That's my life now. So if we add Teemo, can we actually cast any of these spells? We can play a stress defense, but it can't hit the Trickster. Could hit a White Flame Protector, though. I think I'm just going to go with the Chump Wump now so we have the big unit. If he keeps doing stuff, then we can follow up with Teemo. And then maybe we'll have a shot a turn or two from now if we can get the Donger down and start doing Donger stuff. So let's see, we have a block onto this guy. We can block here. The stress defense onto the dragon. It looks like we'll take 9. Alright, it's gonna have to be good enough. One problem at a time, one problem at a time. Do we want to try and draw the poison dart things? Right, the poison darts are the way that we have to try and take down the tricksters. We're just going to lose out on the mana anyways, so let's drop it. Technically lose out on it, right, if we play Teemo. And so let's put just a couple of puff caps in. Maybe we'll spike one next turn. Didn't. Alright, so I'm not feeling good about my Teemo attacking chances. Not feeling real good about those. But let's at least fill up the board as much as we can. Drop those mushroom clouds. We're going to get the 1-cost turret. Ready to do some blocking. Alright. If we can get out of this turn, we might actually be okay. We have a lot of just a lot of ways to just churn through this stuff. Can we ever progress day? that sounds a little greedy. But like, what's happening this turn? As it stands, we're only looking to take 7 damage from elusives. We can block the bigger guys. We don't really care about those. I don't think I really like this. I think we're going to be kind of like pivoting to trying to win with this combination of Ava Achiever and the Puffcat Peddler. What do we have? 9 mana? Let's see. It's picked up Zoe. But, I mean, he's really low in the cards that he has remaining. Do we actually just go for a second Achiever? I don't think our puff caps are high enough. I think we might need something like Conchologist just to try and find something to do. He draws cards as well. I think we're okay here. It's going to be this next attack that's scary. We can also make the decision of, do we just throw away our Heimerdinger so we can play the other Heimerdinger and gain 5 health? Not even attacking with everything? What are you doing, guy? What are you doing? Well, these are the units we want to lose, unless we want to get rid of the Heimerdinger, right? If we want to gain health off of the Heimerdinger next turn, then we want to just trade him away now. That's interesting. He's looking to deal 7 to us with elusives. So I think we want to be replaying the Donger.
Anticipated outcome.
Sure. Something like this. Alright, we're counting on you, Dongzilla. El Dongarino. Let's see if you can do it. We play these. It's 2 for Conchologist, 1 for Teemo, 5 for Heimerdinger. So we can play a Conchologist here and see what happens. Bouncing Bomb is pretty interesting to let us pop 2 spell shields in the same turn. I'm on board with that. Flash of Brilliance to pick up more turrets if we need to. So, ooh, wow, he overrode an elusive. Interesting. Well, the downside with this turn now is if we play Heimerdinger, then he can get going with Zoe, but I think this is okay. You're in. Alright. Puffcap Peddler. Your abilities have been lost. We ever attack with anything? Probably not. Okay. Round end. We're starting to hit with puff caps. Got him for 2. The strategy begins. Stuns the Donger and the Conchologist. Okay. Don't think there's a need to respond to that. I guess the ambush could potentially get some damage in, but like Ranger's Resolve and Trixie Tentacles are never going to do anything. Alright, here's the big one. We got the Mini-Morph onto Zoe. Beautiful. Now, I guess we can just like ambush and block this turn if we want, right? We can block the Zeebles. But let's see where we're at in terms of damage. We got to stop some of this big stuff first. So I don't want to lose the Ava Achiever. It can sit back. Looks like we may have to get it involved anyways just to stop some damage here, but we can technically mini-morph something else if we want, right? We could say ambush, like we can move this guy out here, ambush the Chumpwump, and then have it block the sneaky Zeebles or something. Or we could just take all the elusive damage. But I would like to get out of... Oh, no, here's the block, right? That's how we keep our Achiever around. We just put it in front of the 3/3.
I'm a peddler, not a meddler.
Is that where we're at? Taking 9? I mean, I think that's about as good as it gets. You don't have to spend the Mini-Morph this turn. I guess the question's going to be is like, well, if we're going to roll into the next turn and actually try and hit with an ambush for damage, then we should try and get these elusives off of the board. The other thing, I think, if you mini-morph a stunned unit, does it lose the stun? I think this is a thing. Oh my gosh, this is such a disaster if this goes wrong. Hang on, we get Flash of Brilliance. Oh, we're starting to overdraw. Okay. So we want to mini-morph our Conchologist. I think this works. I think. Okay. Now we can give the dude elusive, block the thing, only take 4. Okay. Whew. Woof. Mouth noises and stuff, man. Oh man, do you know what that overdrawn card was? It was an additional flash of brilliance. That's disappointing. Just popping off flash of brilliances, getting millions of mana out here. That's too bad we lost out on it. Alright, so Teemo on board, so we get the mana. Let's send the poison darts somewhere. What all has spell shield here? Like everything? So the one we're going to worry about is the Trickster. So let's pop its spell shield. Not playing Wrenchbot. Okay. Oh, that was a turn. Things happened. We made it. We made it this far, I guess. So how do we feel about it now? We still can't take down the Trickster, and he picked up Crescent Strikes. I don't feel like any of the attacks are going to be working this turn. But I mean, do we want to start swinging with turrets? Does that get us anywhere? Probably not. Probably not. Alright, so I'm going to pop the Spell Shield. Let's just add the Wrenchbot. See what opponent does. He's going to Crescent Strike some stuff, right? This is a Hextech Anomaly, so it's going to switch into something next turn. Still got this dang elusive out here. Okay. Well.
Rule 102. Practice makes perfect.
The Zeebles are fairly scary. Now, the other thing to kind of keep in mind is the 6-cost turret is the elusive turret. And so we do have like some opportunities to just get a giant elusive down on board if we want to say kill the sneaky Zeebles here, which I worry that like if we don't spend the Hex Obliterator now, we're going to roll into the next turn and then just completely whiff. And so I'm going to kill the unit while we can. We don't have to make the decision in terms of do we play the elusive now, right? We could. Oh yeah, we do. Yeah, we do. It's like this guy's gonna go away if we don't get him on board. But all right. Double Ava Achievers doing quadruple puff cap damage. I think we finally drug ourselves through this one. I can't wait to see what Zoe puts forth to make me feel like a dum-dum, but Rummel has Overwhelm, so we got to watch out for that. Ooh, we hit Mini Morph. He's only got a Moonsilver in hand, so we're like really limited in the things we have to worry about anymore. A treasured trash. Ooh, I think we're good at this point. So I'm just going to pass. Let opponents start doing stuff. Blocking the elusive. Gonna Mini Morph Rummel. Oh. Gotta get back to that Ava Achiever block. I don't think we give up the Donger, do we? Do we have enough turrets to give him up? That just sounds ultimately too greedy. Alright, take 0. Alright, so I wanted to start spewing off some of these turrets so that we don't overdraw our hand. Apex, sure. The wind-up Shredder is actually one that we're going to want to be keeping so that we can hook the elusive out of combat next turn. So Wrenchbot can come in. Flash of Brilliance. Flash of Brilliance. Give me all the wind-up Shredders, please.
That will have to do for now. Innovation must begin somewhere.
All right, how do we continue on? We still have Teemo in our hand, so we can get some more stuff going here. Probably just pick up all the spells in the world. Okay, we're done with the spells now. those shenanigans are complete.
That will have to do for now.
Just going to go ahead and play this thing to pop the spell shield on the Sparkleologist. Now I think we're good. I think we finally made our way through this. If you're still here, if you're still hanging out, that was a bear of a game. But I think this is the culmination of what we were trying to do. All right, so I'm gonna get Teemo in. We can get a 6 cost elusive in our hand as well if we really want to go that route. Probably worthwhile. Because we're only going to get the one attack out of this.
Round and round and round it goes.
They'll never know what hit 'em.
All right, take him to 5. Oh boy. Opponent's dropping emotes and stuff. Says, "You finally got me, Bust. You finally got me." He's got 134 puff caps and 22 cards. It's going to double up the damage. Squeeze them cheeks, boys. I think we made our way through, but man, that was a grind fest. All right, 14 at the end. Oof. Oof. Good stuff. Good stuff. After all that work, let's see, see if we just immediately lose the next battle. So what do we got? Picking up the Teemos, and this mana deposit is surprisingly good. Just basically gives us the 3 mana every turn, and as you can see on some of those slow turns where it's like I want to play Teemo and Conchologist but can't, it helps make up for that. The play for a free attack is useful as well. It can just be a little bit dangerous. I don't know how much like elusive we're about to run into, but this does give us like super fast kills. I think I'm gonna roll the dice with the quick strike blade, because since our Teemo has scout, if we play it on our opponent's attack token, then that counts as the scout attack, and we get another attack after that. So we have lots of really powerful options as long as there aren't elusive blockers. Okay, and so the power overwhelming, of course, strong. It's just like not really Teemo centric. I don't think it's probably too good to roll away though. Okay, so next set we have a gold chest. Don't really want Solitary Monk lets us cut cards out of our deck, so I can head down that way if this matchup isn't that bad. Game start, the foe summons a Targon's Peak. Oh man, I love it. I love it. And then round end, all players draw cards, and so ties right into what our Teemos wants. Whew. Gotta get a breather after that last one. But all right, the same rules still apply. Teemo's not in our opener. We'll take a hard mulligan and dig. Didn't find him so far. How about now? Sump Fumes. Hey, there he is. There's the Teemo. All right. He's going to jump in, free attack. Opponent has nothing. Nothing, you say. I think I'll keep our mana banked up. Well, fine. You know what? Fine. Let me get that juicy point of damage. only the juiciest points of damage are what I want. Send you a little cupcake, Jinx. A 0-cost Teemo. All right, the Fangs. Not really worried about that. Yeah, here's our Teemo. See if we don't get the opportunity to do stuff in the middle of combat here, though. I would like to, sump fumes as dude and play the mushroom cloud, but one problem at a time.
Targon's history is in each stone and star.
This Teemo's just going to hang out on board now, isn't he? We got to be a little careful with the mana, I guess, but it's not that big a deal. I've had bigger problems before. Alright, Teemo, blast him. Alright, this game should be good and done. We got plenty of puff caps at this point. Opponents drawing 2 cards a turn. Must feel terrible to be the Arbiter of the Peak going up against Teemo just drawing all of these cards, but it's not my problem, man. Not my problem. You're gonna play all the puff cap cards. Get a good amount in there before we get the last double. What do you think we're at? Like 400? 300. Pretty good. Now you get to draw all the cards, friend. Alright, GG. So what do we got? Anything here? The beam is fine and the Forge Chief is fine. I think I'm leaning just more towards the beam. It's just such a good catch-all removal spell that I think that it'll do us well. Solitary Monk about to come in and cut out this expensive thing. It's either the Ava Achiever or the Chumpwump, and I don't think we're gonna get into too many more of those like grind fests like we just had to fight against Zoe, and we can look to cut the Ava Achiever out. It's just it's just so slow. At least the Chumpwump is moderately okay in combat. All right, on to the shop. So the power. When you draw a card, give allies 1 attack this round. Not spectacular. Works a little bit with Teemo, but not amazingly. Then we do have Shimmering Image. Summon an exact copy of an ally. It's ephemeral, draw 1. That gives us a way to attack with the copies of Teemo on the board. But once we have the 1 copy of Teemo, I'm not super worried about it anymore at that point. And so it's tough to want to add a lot of these cards in unless they're going to be really high impact. I think we can let these go. Higher education, it's like it just doesn't even work with our Teemos because he returns to hand every turn. Let's see if we can't find a better power. All right, grow my power to match my health. Not that great, but I don't want to add cards to our deck at this point. So at the next step, we either have a War Chef's. This either lets you heal or purchase a healing card for your deck, or we go up to the item chest. Let's go to the item chest. So the Ethereal Remitter. The foe kills their round start. The foe kills their weakest enemy to summon a random follower. Costs 2 more. Kind of like the Vaults of Helya. Wonder what the mana cost is of a mini-morphed unit. Not sure what that is. Alright, so we did the full mulligan. No Teemos. That's why I don't want to be adding cards to our deck. Conchologist, whoops. And the last one, last but not least, Teemo making the appearance. And so this start does kind of show you why I'm a little interested in, mana deposit on Teemo. Since, he got the free attacks, that's good, but it would have let us, play Teemo and then followed up with Conchologist and start churning off of the spells. And so it doesn't seem like much, but this deck just, really struggles in terms of mana. And that was where it was going to be the bonus for us. Alright, well, we can kill off some of this stuff. He's got 2 units on board, so we can't limit everything, but I think at least taking down the 1 unit and leaving him with the Aristocrat seems fine. Watch this, watch this. Boom him, Teemo. Get those strikes right in. But this is like why I was interested in the free attack, right? As long as he can't interact with the Teemo and we can get these free attacks going, then it just leaves us in such a good spot in terms of closing these games out extremely quickly. Alright, Conchologist in. None of these cards are interesting. I'll take the Jerry Rig just in case we need an additional blocker. But this one should be close to done. We may not win on the next turn, but we should win before opponent gets to attack us again. Alright, get in there. Attack him real fast, Teemo.
Reporting in.
So I forgot about our units getting +1/+1. It's like we got that legendary power and just don't even care. Like, it just doesn't matter.
Have a mushroom. Have 3. There they
Alright, I'll load up the puff caps. Send the Teemo in. That should be enough. Enough puff cappage to end this one. Take him up to about 600. What do you got? 654. Nice round number. There you go. Hit him for 34. All right, the battles continue. So what you got for us, game? The Darken Aegis is kind of neat now that it can start in our opening hand. I mean, it's not a card I'm really amped about, but it does fit. And then the Keeper's Verdict is okay. Like, if we didn't have like a million thermogenic beams, I would be a little bit more interested in it. But the summon a random champion at my cost is quite good. And so I think I'm going to go Keeper's Verdict here. The Darken Aegis, like, especially now that our Teemo is quick attacking, it just doesn't do nearly as much. And absolutely happy to find more Flash of Brilliance, as this card's quite good. Especially with the manifest attached to it now. I have plenty of health. I'm actually leaning towards cutting this Darken Aegis instead of cutting out the Chumpwump. Just realistically not doing anything here. Alright, onto the Vigio. And so, round start, the foe summons an ephemeral copy of the player's strongest follower that died last round. I'm not, like, familiar enough with this Vigio to remember the removal suite. The thing that's really problematic for us is if he has Vile Feasts. But starting on the first turn with the stress defense, we have the means to play around it. And I feel much safer at this point.
Prepared for anything.
All these people out there like, dude can't even say Viego. It's not my first rodeo, bro. I know a Vigio when I see one. Alright, get him, Teemo. I forgot that he costs 6 now. You don't see him as much in the Lands of Constructed ever since they took away his point of attack. We can kill this thing. So let's lead off with the Sunk Fumes. He'll probably look to make an attack. That's fine. We're gonna Poison Dart out of it. Then we can follow up with our Teemo. Get those free attacks rolling through. Hey, you're a scout. Let's make another attack. Alright, so I feel pretty good about this one at this point. I mean, if the extent of what he's going to do next turn is play Viego. Well, he can't even play Viego, he costs 6 now. But, this looks strong. Free attack in Teemo. This will take him up to 300 or so. Uh-oh, he's got a card. He's got a vengeance this time. Okay. Is this... How does this work? Does this keep the puff caps? The puff caps fall off? So if we keep his verdict, the Camaverin dragon, then he just gets to draw without any puff caps? That's kind of... I'm not really interested in that. That's not what I want to be seeing here. I didn't think of that interaction before. But I think we're okay. We'll kill the unit, attack with the pup. He's got 162 puff caps in there. So we may not be getting the lethal this turn, but we have the mini-morph and stuff to take down Viego. We're not worried about any of his units. We have all of this hard removal at this point. Ooh, you start with a spell shield, huh? Let me teach you a little lesson about that. So I'm gonna pass. I'm sure he's going to attack. Now we can mini-morph. Say LOL Vigio. LOL. Nice effort, friend. Alright, we're pretty close. Show him how to lethal puff cap pup. That's what it's about. That's what it's about. GG. All right, what you got for us? Oh, beautiful, beautiful. It doesn't feel bad, right? When we take the strategy of just hard mulligan for Teemo, when you get to start with the Farsight alteration. So absolutely perfect. Draw me if I'm not in your starting hand. I'm ready. I'm ready for battles now. We're locked and loaded. We got another legendary. Which one's this? If you die, it comes back. The first time your Nexus would run out of health each game, heal it to 30 and grant allies everywhere 1/1. Sure. That sounds pretty good when we're trying to squeeze the cheeks with the puff caps just to finish off the game. Now we can see up here we got a champion item chest. I think we're good to go. And so we'll do the battle with the Battlesmith. When the foe summons an elite, give it +2/+2. Hey, it's a Teemo. We get to send him away now, right? Because we're just going to automatically draw him. And so it's not the end of the world if we draw multiple copies of Teemo, because the playing the puff caps is actually quite good. But, you know, we would typically prefer to have other stuff. Vanguard Defender, you're so small, my friend. Oh, never mind, I take that back. You just got big quick. You want to make one of your friends' days? You got a friend that goes to the gym. Doesn't matter how big they are. Tell them that they look big today. You're also allowed to tell them that they look small. If you're being cute, it has to be very clear that you are joking around. There's no one that has bigger insecurity problems than the biggest guy at the gym. So. All right, let's get into battle though. I assure you it will make their day if you tell them they're looking big. Say, your shirt's looking tight, bro. Did your arms get bigger? You will probably make their year if you use that phrase. It's the way. This is the way it is. Looking big out here, Battlesmith. So, all right, I don't feel like we need any of these. We'll just pick up the Conchologist. We'll stop talking about the gym bros around us. Gonna have to take 7 this turn. I mean, do we need to block? We've got 90 puff caps. If we hadn't sent away our Teemo, then we could pretty safely get out of this one without blocking. But now that we get to double, I think it's okay. He's just taking his time. It's at 190. So yeah, one might have considered it sloppy that, oh my gosh. How many times are you going to win the coin flip, bro? Are you serious? Oh my gosh. Are we just going to lose this one? Because dude won the coin flip like 5 fucking times? Oh my gosh. Okay. I mean, is there really much difference in even blocking here now? Like, I think we can't block. I didn't. He has so much health at this point. Like he's got like 1,000 card deck over here. Oh my god, what a disaster. At least we've. I thought we were just gonna be cruising through the remainder of the battle, and then we had to run up against that. Oh, what nonsense.
Have a mushroom. Have 3.
He's got the single combats. At least it's coming down onto this dum-dum. I was hoping that we're going to be able to, say, play Teemo, get some attacks in, and then do, like, Flash of Brilliances to chain off more spells, but... Oh, we don't have a single combat, do we? Or, I thought we had a stress defense. Oh my gosh. Oh, this is the Manifest. I was like, none of these cards cost 6 except the Hex Obliterator. Oh my gosh. It's close with the Minimorph, but it's not enough. Ugh. Oh, we're just dead, aren't we? We're gonna be so dead. Maybe we should have given you more respect. I'm sorry, friend. Can't. What is this, like... Though 50... This happens 50, 25, 12... I guess 6% of the time? You get to cast the Succession 5 times in a row? Oh, that's insane. Alright. I was feeling so good about this run. Let's give it another shot. Insane. I guess, if we're being real, something happening 6% of the time shouldn't be classified as insane, but it certainly feels like it when you're in the midst of it. Alright, so we're going to pick up a Teemo. We could probably get rid of these chump wumps. They're just so expensive. And then again, if we physically naturally draw a Teemo, it's not the end of the world. We did physically naturally draw one. Alright, friend. Let's try this setup again. Oh man. You don't forget that one. Don't forget that one. Alright, so I guess we'll start casting spells and stuff on these dudes. Maybe we'll be able to get a takedown on them at some point in these games, but... Wow. Wow. You're big elite. You're a big old friend out here, Vanguard Lookout. Let's add the pup.
You can count on me.
Drop darts. No deuces, just darts. Send in the Teemo. So we should be safe enough with the Teemo here. Then we have the stress defense for next turn. It is a little worrisome that we're going to be taking like 8, falling to 11. Oh shit, he just gets to hook our Teemo, huh? Guess we'll be playing the stress defense now, not waiting on the single combat. Oh man, I'm so scared of next turn now. This is scary. If we had the mana to get the Donger on board, it wouldn't be as bad. Like, maybe if we can make it... Like, if he has the single combat here, and we can cycle around with the Donger, then maybe it's not as horrible, but... I'm definitely a little worried about this. Can we ever just, like, bait it so he doesn't... Let's try it. Let's lead with the Peddler.
Oh, if mushrooms could talk.
Okay, so he can't do it now. Teemo win. So we'll have him at about 600 puff caps or so. Now, I guess it is a real question. Like, is it really worth putting the Flash of Brilliances down? We lose out on the opportunities for blockers next turn, but we, like, really need to be winning it right now. I think I'm going to Flash of Brilliance up, at least with one. Why does production... Oh, production surge doesn't cost mana. We just have mana. Got it. Caustic Cask coming in. Everybody takes a point. Well, if we're going to spend all of our mana, we can then just Thermogenic Beam, I guess. Alright, let's get this stuff happening. Apparently, we're just casting all the spells, and so the beam can come in. I thought we had another free one. Where did it go? Oh my gosh! Oh, shit! I forgot and didn't realize that that's going to be good to remember for after this turn. But those Thermogenic beams, or I'm sorry, those Flash of Brilliances that cost 0 still give us 3 mana back. And so there's a bunch of stuff that we could have been trying to do in the midst of that. Okay. Well, we at least got a bunch of blockers on the board now. I was like, why? I thought that got messed up a little bit. I was like, why do we still have the mana to do stuff now? And then 0 cost spell giving you 3 spell mana back. God, it's so good. Let's see if we got enough. 700 puff caps and 25 cards. We're going to deal 1 damage with the Caustic Cask. Hopefully this is enough to just not have to deal with combat this turn. 24, beautiful. Whew. Okay. Okay, so we made our way out of that one. Learning along the way always feels good. What do we got now? Just more Teemos? Add more copies? I mean, there is a point to where you don't want to just add more copies of Teemo because he's going to just be that puff cap card. But, you know, I think it's okay. We got a healthy amount of card draw in here otherwise. We'll take the puff cap delivery. Sounds good. Now this last set. We either have an item chest or a shop. I'd prefer to go to the shop. And then the thing to look out for here as well is this never-ending nightmare matchup is really challenging for Teemo. This is a deck that just floods the board with a ton of units on the first turn of the game, and we are not going to have enough blockers to deal with this thing. And so even if, like, say these things were swapped, we would take the item chest to avoid this battle. We really want to be doing battle with the Dawn Speakers here. Alright, so into the shop. We want a power. Not worried about vulnerable. Let's reroll. Attack. Grow my health to match my power. Like, our Teemo's a 2-attack unit now to make him a 3/3, but that's pretty meh. Summon Vanguard Lookouts is absolutely perfect, though. Just giving us those blockers for the early game. Definitely on board. And so now up here, we gave up on a lot of our power in that we just spent a lot of mana, but there's some pretty decent options in here. Pow Pow with Draw Me if I'm not in your starting hand, I want 1 copy of. I could see adding copies of Scorched Earth, but I don't think we need them. We have, like, decent permanent removal or semi-permanent removal in our Thermogenic Beam and our Knock Away thing. And so I think we don't need the Scorched Earths, although as you're getting to go up against Galio, it is kind of interesting to think of as an item to keep. But I'm going to let that one go. And so, on to the Dawn Speakers. Game start, the foe summons 2 Dawn Speakers. Gotcha. Easy enough to understand. Okay, look at all these Teemos in the opener. Gonna go ahead and mulligan those away. We'll hang on to the beam, I guess. It's gonna be pretty tough for us to make it through these openers without Teemos in our hand. Now we got 7 copies in our deck. Right? All right, Stony Suppressor. Making things a little bit more expensive. do want to be mushroom clouding here. I want to load them up as fast as we can. If we have to take 2 damage next turn from the Dawn Speakers, I don't care. Planning on full healing at the healer anyways, but we need to end this fast. Oh, he's got an attack token or something? I just always always assume now that we play that Teemo, it's easy for me to forget. Okay. So it's our attack token now, right? Alright, Poison Dart to the face. Teemo on board.
Nothing like the great outdoors. Adventure starts with mushrooms.
He's got higher health. It's easy to forget that they have the higher health at these points, and so... Not super scared, just a little scared.
Armed and ready.
But we're not in a spot... I guess we could technically be like dropping beams here.
Today we turn the tide.
He is going to gain like a ton of attack power out of that, though. I think we just have to wait until next turn and play one after the Dawn Speakers have a chance to activate. And then we have the Pow Pow to potentially take something down in the middle of combat. Alright, scary stuff, scary stuff. So I think we need to start off with Teemo. So if we're starting with Teemo, do we want to... Kind of counting on this Pow Pow to work.
Prepared for anything.
But now we get all of our mana back. Could potentially do something. Who is the biggest? One of these 3s takes 7. We can try and dig our Teemo out of this a little bit, but let's see. There's a Manifest attached in here as well. We have a Death Ray plus if we had the normal mana, we could pull this off with the Death Ray and the Poison Dart, but not quite there. Oh, I forgot about this kind of thing though. We do have to remember that our Flash of Brilliances can give us mana back even even with the Stony Suppressor on the board. So we didn't hit anything there. Can we cast any of this stuff now? No. Kind of a bummer. Alright, looks like that's where the flashing's gonna stop. Okay. So our Teemo lives. I feel much better about this now. I don't think the opponent has rallies, but taking him up to over 1,000 should most certainly end the game here. One interesting thing to note with these thermogenic beams with the Stony Suppressor on the board, it only cares about the Stony Suppressor in terms of being able to do the initial cast. And so if you only have if you have 0 mana and a Stony Suppressor's on the board, you can't play it for 1 mana. But if you can see there, like a 3 mana spend on a... I'm trying to think of how to word that right. It just cares about the amount of mana that you spend. And so it's not one of those places as to where if you have 3 mana and there's a Stony Suppressor on the board, you only deal 2 damage because you end up spending all of it. But here, let's heal up to full. See if we can't do battle against old Galio, the Grand Plaza version. And so, round to end, if the foe's allies have 20 plus health, they summon the Galio. If they don't have aim, then they get the Spell Shield, and then the foe starts with the Grand Plaza. So we'll have to watch out for our Teemo a little bit, but we can still play like after our opponent attacks maybe, and then use that as the tool to avoid the Grand Plaza. But let's see, I hung on to one stress defense. That's going to be a great way to stop the bigger units. And then it's gonna look for old Teemo here. All right, so I've looked, I've checked. It's our attack token. We should be safe to get the Teemo on board and attacking.
Another day in the field.
Got to deal 50 damage. I'm so used to just having to do such a tiny amount.
Laws to get out.
Swiftly. Success is planting your mushroom ground.
All right. And then do we want to go ahead and spend this mana? I think we do. The Shyvana, while not the scariest thing, I think she's something worth taking down here. Or do we want to do this? It's like, I'm kind of tempted to let him draw the cards, but probably a little bit safer to just go ahead and take down the Dragon Chow. All right, we have plenty of blocking we can do in the face of Shyvana. So now it's just like, as long as we don't die, right? If he gets to play his units and make this combat, that's fine. Then we can follow up with Teemo after combat and get all of our attacks in.
Astounding curiosities lie ahead. Persistence is key.
Persistence is key.
I will surge.
All right, you got to flip Shyvana. It's blinding. All right, so I'm not gonna to play the other Teemo for the puff caps. It's a little bit worrisome now that if we lose our Teemo, we don't have another one. And so if something goes wrong, if opponent has a single combat or something, I want to be able to still get him on board. What do we got him up to? 224 and 30 cards. Now that we've picked up a second Teemo, might be a little bit different.
Have a mushroom. Have 3.
We just dropping a single combats right away. That feels pretty good. I was worried about that.
Another day in the field. Enough for everyone.
All right, so I'm just gonna play one. I'll drop the one mushroom cloud, and then I'm gonna play the Pow Pow as the other one. We'll get the Teemo win. We should be getting that mana back quickly. It's like we're so far away from getting lethal at this point. I feel pretty safe, especially since we have cards like Stress Defense in hand to shrink him from 8 to 1 or whatever. Oh, just straight up get him. Didn't even take damage. Didn't even need to use the heal. So GG. Not a bad set of battles. Pretty good stuff. And so I think our Teemo is, still pretty on point. We're about to roll over to the point to where at champion level 20, you get to draw champion at the beginning of the game, and you can start thinking about a different strategy there. But I think I still like the one that we're chasing down here, as to where you just quit at the beginning, you pick up the draw 2, because drawing Teemo is so incredibly important. Even if you now at champion level 20 that we get to draw the champion at the beginning of the game, we're still, even if you just say have like 5 copies of Teemo, then if you're just going to outright lose in whatever that is, like 30% of your games, then that feels pretty bad. And so I think even once we hit level 20, we'll still want to look towards that ability and continue on with this strategy. But nonetheless, I had fun with that. I hope you did too, because that is going to do it for us today. And so I hope everyone enjoyed the video. Hope you maybe learned a thing or two along the way and had a good time watching. This is Busted Me. Thank you for being here.